Manchester United, number 21, is coming. You heard it here first. The game against Bournemouth. Honestly, I thought we played really well. So you heard it first. Just hear me out. I know it's preseason. Hear me out. Let me talk.
Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk.
Okay, just let me talk. I know it's preseason. Okay, I know the players are still warming up. Season hasn't started yet. We're still getting into the groove of things. Even Bournemouth, when they played, it didn't look that sharp. But I'm telling you, this season is a season for us. Not to mention GTA 6 is coming out next year. And every year GTA came out, United won the league. So I'm calling it now first. You heard it here. If we don't win the league, come back to this video and I owe you. No, I don't owe you. I don't owe you nothing. But United's winning the league. Number 21 is coming. The greatest league in England. Let's get into it. Before I do get into it, though, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and comment below who you think will win the league next season. And if it isn't Manchester United, then you're wrong. That's all. Back to the video. United last Wednesday played against Bournemouth in Chicago at Soldier Field, and I was actually there in attendance. So that was actually my first ever Manchester United game, watching it live. And I've been a fan since I started watching football when I was 10, back in the day. So, and I'll link that video here as well. You can go ahead and click that. Just kind of went through my experience watching it live. But regardless, yeah, I thought we looked good. I thought we looked far more composed than we did last season. And even though it was preseason, I know we don't want to get too carried away with that win. We won 4-1, incredible. And you can go all the way back to Louis van Gaal's tenure when we played preseason, we beat Real Madrid, 4-1, which was a great win. And then the rest of the season was a tragedy. It was a tragedy. Hopefully that's not the case with this season. So that's why I don't want to take preseason too seriously. But that being said, just watching the game and just watching the players, we looked a lot more comfortable. I thought Bruno Fernandes, I feel like Bruno Fernandes has always had a lot of pressure on his back playing for this team. And because of that, I think he always tries to, make sure everything goes through him. If it's not him, it's not going to happen. So he's always trying these Hail Mary balls that I don't think are always necessary. But then that's also because his players only provide him with any other options. And that's what they expect from him. And a lot of times that doesn't come off. Most of the time it doesn't come off. And when it does, we don't usually finish those chances. But I thought this game, Ruben Amorim has started to implement some of his ideas. And I thought that he started to take some of that responsibility away from Bruno. Not just signing Mbeumo, not just signing Cunha, but and in that game against Bournemouth, they didn't even play, and we still looked like a much better team. So this was the same squad, almost the same squad that we had against Spurs in the final of the Europa League last season. And honestly, we were miles better. I thought Ahmad was kind of all over the pitch at this point. I'm not really sure what his instruction was. It felt like they gave him a free roam, but he was everywhere on the pitch, linking up play, just quick passes. Bruno was passing it quickly. He wasn't looking for those Hail Mary balls, just quick, short passes, 1-2. You don't need to hold on to the ball too much, and we're more patient with the build-up, which I really enjoyed. Manchester United in the past, and again, this is not me getting carried away, okay? This is just what I saw at the game. But Manchester United in the past, we couldn't hold possession. The moment we get it, we're trying to strike back, and it was just more of a basketball game. But this game against Brentford, we held the ball, we kept possession. At one point in the first half, we had 70% possession, and so I think overall we're just looking like a more composed, like a high quality team. Some of the basics that the players should have in their mentality wasn't there last season, and they're starting to come in for these players. We're just looking like a real team. Now, do I think we don't want to get carried away? Obviously, even though I'm already in the moon, but I think this team, especially playing one game per week, I think this team has some serious potential in hitting the top 4 spots. And now I've been saying, okay, winning the league. On all serious note, I don't think we're going to win the league, even though something in me just feels it. I've been calling this, me and my boy, we've been calling this since, I'm just putting it out here now, okay, since 2022 or 2021. We said United would win the league in 2026. That's what we said. And that I still believe that. I still believe that, especially with the way we're playing now, what the team is looking like. And if we played like that against Brentford, and yes, it's preseason, I thought Brentford weren't really trying as hard. I don't know if that's up to the fitness levels, us just being at a higher fitness level. When the season does come, obviously they're gonna pick back up, and it might be a lot more even match. But I thought regardless, we looked much better than Brentford, considering they beat us last season 3-0. I think Onana not being in the team kind of helps, like gives the team more balance. I think Onana tries to do a bit too much at times that I think is really unnecessary. Tom Heaton just coming in and just keeping it simple. Just make a save, push it to the side, just pass it to a player. Just keep it simple. He gives you assurance. He gives you like the feeling of confidence at the back, and defenders can actually go up. And he's not the sweeper type of goalie that maybe we want. And Onana is, and that just hasn't worked out. I don't know. But regardless, I'm just saying it now. The league, y'all need to watch out. Manchester United, we're coming. We're on our way. I think Chelsea, they won the Club World Cup. They're going to be a problem. If you look at the overall quality of the league now, like the quality is just insane, right? So I think last season, the teams in the bottom half versus the teams in the top half of the league, I felt were closer than they've ever been. Usually you kind of see like a huge gap between the first, then the next three, then a huge gap between them and seventh place, right? But last season from 10th to first, it was still pretty much close. Liverpool kind of ran away with the league, but it was still somewhat close, right? And I feel like that disparity is starting to come back a little bit this season. However, I do feel like Chelsea, they've never been stronger. Arsenal with Gyökeres being signed. Of course, they played against Spurs, and I don't think he played that well. I haven't really watched the highlights, or I didn't see much of him. But we don't know. We don't know. We'll see. But they signed Gyökeres. We expect huge things from Gyökeres, so we got to be careful. Liverpool obviously spending 150 mil on Florian Wirtz. Now they're in talks to sign Isak from Newcastle. Newcastle is the one team that I felt maybe are going to regress next season, just because of they signed Anthony Elanga, but I don't think that's enough. Especially if they lose Isak, they're just going to drop. It's going to drop. It's going to happen without a doubt. We have City. They're making some signings. Although they made more signings in January, I think they might come back and look like a serious team. We have Spurs. Spurs, they just beat Arsenal again, like I said, and they're looking better. So I think overall the balance, the power that the top six traditionally held, is coming back. As for United, realistically speaking, where are we going to be at? I have no idea. The reason why is because, yes, we look better this preseason than we did last preseason, and I think we do have more physicality in the team. When you look at players like Patrick Dogu, who I believe won man of the match against Bournemouth, and he's good. He didn't play that well last season. Like last season, I thought he was okay. He was still 20. He came in January. You don't expect too much from a player like that. But this season, he's looking like a real player. He's looking like one of them. I want to say Alphonso Davies, but not quite. Maybe not as skillful, but in terms of power, speed. In terms of output, he has potential to be at that level, right? I think Ahmad as well. Like his normal game when Ahmad is quiet. Ahmad was kind of quiet against Brentford. That being said, he did score a goal and he did bits around the pitch. He was defending. One point you see him up at the in the opponent's box, and you see him back at our defensive line. He was doing bits for us, so. I think Ahmad, even if he does have a quiet game, he's still that good. I think that's the level that he's at right now. I like to call him Little Messi because he kind of plays like Messi. But I think overall, it's a great team performance. I think the league needs to watch out. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.